everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is V. I am a fully qualified actuary who is currently working and living in Canada. Today is another episode of Get to Know an Actuary series where I feature various actuaries and actual professionals working in different areas so you can know about our work and what we possibly can do. Previously, I introduced actuaries working in traditional areas like pricing and valuations, and also non-traditional areas like internal audit and marketing. And today I'm happy to have Maggie, an actuary who is working in capital management, to share with us about her work. And we also have different discussions about the different FSA track and whether it matters on how what roles we can get in the future. Hi Maggie. Thanks for being here today. So can you please introduce us a little bit about yourself?
Hi everyone, my name is Maggie Ma. I'm a fellow of the Society of Actuaries and the Canadian Institute of Actuaries. I'm currently a director in capital management at a multinational life insurance company here in Canada. I graduated from the University of Waterloo Mathematics and Co-op program, majoring in actuarial science and finance option with an economics minor. And after graduation, I worked at a reinsurance company focusing on the US traditional life market for a few years. And during my time there, I worked in pricing, experience studies, risk analysis, and research. And it was a great time. In 2017, I came to my current company. I first started in corporate risk, and then I moved into IFRS 17 business implications. And now I'm happily in capital management. I'm also an active volunteer for the Society of Actuaries. So both V and I are council members of the Joint Risk Management Committee. I'm also on the exam committee to help create questions and grade fellowship exams. A fun fact about me, I love food, not the type that like you make recipes and cooking. No, not that one. I like to go to restaurants and have dining experience. So I started a food blog on Instagram. This is my quarantine project. The account has been growing, so I was able to help local business to promote their products in the last year and a half. And I find this to be a very rewarding experience. So that's everything about me.
Like, why did you choose to pursue the SOA, the Society of Actuaries, instead of the Casualty Actuarial Society?
I think this is something that I was constantly battling myself with back in university as well. And I would strongly recommend students to do internships before graduation to figure this out. So I was lucky. I was in the co-op program at the University of Waterloo. So I did 6 co-op terms prior to graduation. So I had the experience to try both P&C as well as life. And I think it just happened that the life companies I worked at were bigger in scale, and they have more established actuarial development program. And so bigger companies with these kind of programs, they help to support you through exams. And they also have mentorships for the company that I worked at. So I was able to talk to my mentor and get an understanding of the difference between P&C and life and how the career will progress. So I really like that aspect of life insurance. And the other thing is I really enjoy the life contingency exams, which is one of the first preliminary exams. It was called MLC at the time. I think right now it's called LTEM. And in my opinion, that one is arguably the most relevant one for life insurance. So I figured if I can ace that exam, I can do very well in life insurance. So that was one thing that made me choose life.
As choosing Society of Actuaries for exam qualification, like there are a lot of different FSA track. Can you share with us like which one did you choose and then why?
Sure. I did my FSA track under the individual life and annuities track. It was the most relevant and applicable one for my work at the time. And I always find, I think it's always good to have some synergy between your work and exams, because nowadays the exams are more focused on comprehensive and application type questions. So if you have that work experience that you can apply those textbook knowledge to, it really gets the job done faster. So that was just one thing that helped me to choose among the different tracks. But I would say that all the tracks are very beneficial. If you have a passion in ERM, if you have a passion in investment, by all means, you can try something outside of what you do, and it will be a great learning opportunity as well.
I'm the second type. I actually chose the ERM and corporate finance track because well, I was not interested in the life contingency exam or the nature of it. So for me, I was always interested more in like the finance and the risk and the bigger picture. So, well, I guess less technical or less traditional topics or area of the actual profession. That's why it's like, yep, just corporate finance and ERM track was the one that I chose, even though I did not have experience in risk. But yeah, I see. I agree. Like there are a lot of other people. I think it's just like at the end of the day, whatever track that help you to pass exam easiest, I think that will be the way to go.
Yeah, and definitely, I admire people like you who are in ERM and finance. I just couldn't bring myself to do it at the time. But now that we get more work experience, I definitely find myself like really interested in the topic. And I'm also on, that's why I joined the Joint Risk Management Committee. I'm also on the ERM exam committee to learn everything from ground up and in a more systematic way. So
yeah, and that's how we could connect more and work more closely,
exactly.
which is great.
Exactly.
You have a wide range of expertise from like capital management, IFRS 17, financial reporting, model risk management, reinsurance analysis, risk analysis, and more. So what role do you find the most interesting so far?
I've got to say that capital management is the most interesting because I'm in it right now, right? It's really an area that we can make an impact. It has a lot of dependencies and also a lot of downstream impacts on the company's performance, the dividend payouts, and so on. So I find the work is very interesting that way. And the other area that I find really interesting is reinsurance pricing. The pricing work is never repetitive because we're trying to create a customized solutions for our clients, which are the insurers. And before products gets launched, the insurers, they will come to all the reinsurance companies to get a quote. So if you're on the pricing team, you get to see the latest products in the market. You get to read their product specs and learn their target markets and all that, which I find very interesting. So I will also strongly recommend reinsurance to anyone interested.
That's great. So how about the most challenging?
Most challenging. I think all jobs have a challenging aspect to them. And the one that I would say for me so far is IFRS 17, which is, I guess it's fresh because I did this recently. So for those of you who don't know, IFRS 17 is a new accounting regime that's being adopted worldwide with the exception of US. And this is one of the largest projects I have been on. And there's a lot of different things to learn. And it's a huge learning curve for me and the others in the project. And a part of this job also involves reading regulatory guidance. So the IFRS 17 standards, you really have to know it inside out. And you have to have your own interpretations and making sure that it's compliant. So it's a lot of learning involved. I probably spend the first 3 months learning every day about what it is and learning also about the people that are in the program that I can collaborate with. There are also a lot of moving pieces and considerations anytime you make a decision in this project. So I find this to be challenging, but I would say that this is one of the areas that you can really grow in your career by being in a large projects like this. You get a lot of learning opportunities.
I would say IFRS 17 is a challenge for everyone in our companies at this point. So I think everyone will be relieved when it's implemented.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah. But yeah, I also think that like the more challenging it is, but something is like the more learning opportunities we can have, and that's how like we can grow even more. So, but yeah, sometimes it's just very complex project and stuff can make you feel frustrated a bit, but then hopefully just keep going, and at the end of the day we will be able to like overcome and learn much more. Yeah.
Well said. Yeah, that's exactly it. It's there's a trade-off, right? Like you have your opportunities, and then like you get a great deal of success feeling after a project has been completed. I also find that this role provides a lot of opportunities for people to develop soft skills, which are also very important for actuaries. For projects like this, it's very normal to work with accountants, project managers, technicians. So you get to work outside of the normal actuarial circles and see how everyone else is doing, what they're doing, and you can always learn something new from someone else. So I also find that you can train your communication skills. You can have the opportunity to explain a technical concept to a non-technical audience. So it's definitely an area where I personally grew a lot as a person. And yeah, if you have the opportunity to be part of a large projects like this, I would recommend it.
I would say soft skill development is greatly important, like getting more and more important as we progress in our career further. So I think you probably also have the same observation as well. And that's why like hoping that like aspiring actuary also recognize that, and then develop both like the technical side and the soft side at the same time.
Exactly. Yeah.
You took the FSA track, the individual life, but then like you were able to work in also in like different area and roles. So do you think it matters like which FSA track like one choose and what job will get eventually?
I don't think it matters. It's after graduation, I've learned that everything we do it really comes down to self-learning. Nothing we learn from the textbook is directly applicable. So you always, it's almost better off to learn it from practice. And for me, that is learning on the job. And it's harder at first because the learning curve is steeper. But of course, you're more motivated to learn because it's your job. And also I find it interesting because you get to see how it works in real life versus if you just give me a textbook example, I'm not going to learn anything from that. So personally, I don't think it matters. It's just you have to put in a lot of work into learning something new. And like I said before, after you qualify as an actuary, there are a lot of volunteer opportunities in SOA where you can try out different things. So on the Joint Risk Management Committee that we're on right now, there are research projects, there are webcasts that you can be part of. So these are all opportunities that we can take advantage of after qualifying as an actuary to learn about the different projects that are out there.
Yeah, great point about like learning on the job and also through volunteering, because I think at the end of the day, like you say, it's about learning. So it's through ability to learn, which I think like once we go through all of those exams, our ability to learn to improve greatly. And then also we just like I think it just like come down to the relevant experience when we're applying for like the next level or for the next job. So I think with those two, with like one have the ability to learn on the job as well as like just like explore different to get different relevant experience. So I think they can get to where they want. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
So now that you're in capital management, can you share with us a little bit more about your current work in capital management?
Sure. I would say that the structure of the capital management team, it really depends on the company. And each company have their own strategies, which could be different. So you can have a company that has a more centralized capital management function versus another company that's decentralized. So centralized would be something that the company would hold all the capital in the top of the house, and then they distribute it if there's projects and so on. And then decentralized would be the corporate function will let the business units or line of business hold their own assets and manage it separately. So it really depends on the company's structure and their philosophy. So I don't want to go into the details about my own company, but in general, I would say that there are two sub-teams within capital management. One would be the regulatory capital reporting. So in the US, that's RBC capital. In Canada, that's LICAT capital. And this is something that the regulator requires financial institutions to disclose every quarter. So a lot of effort and manpower goes into coming up with just one number, one capital ratio, and it's a huge task every quarter to be able to come up with a storyline that describes the movement between quarter to quarter and what are the impacts that goes into this one capital ratio. So I think this is the one that most people are familiar with when they think about capital management. But then there's the other side, which is the internal allocation. So this is the area I'm in, and it's an area that focuses on how capital is allocated between the business groups or even lines of business according to your capital management philosophy. So in this area, I get to work with a lot of accountants, a lot of people with designations such as CFA, CA, and then there's also project managers. So different people have different ideas, and you really try to work as a team to help make sure that the strategy is being implemented correctly, and we all have one focus on making sure the company is profitable as well as compliant. So that's also another area that most people don't know about, but also very important.
Great. I haven't got to work in capital management, so this is like great info to know about capital management. So last but not least, do you have any advice for those who would like to work in capital management area specifically and aspiring actuaries overall?
Sure. Like I said, I would strongly recommend this role to anyone out there. I would encourage people to watch more YouTube videos on capital management, and also you can schedule chats, virtual chats, or coffee chats with people in your capital management area, so that they can tell you a little bit about your company's own philosophy in capital and also the day-to-day job. The role itself, I find that it's less traditional than our typical pricing or valuation role, but it's a very rewarding experience. It gives you a great overview of the company, the lines of business, and what kind of special projects we have on the go. So I find it very interesting from that aspect. And I also really enjoy working with different people outside of the actuarial circles. Sometimes when we work too much with actuaries, we tend to forget things, and we use a lot of acronyms like MFATs, best estimate, or BE. So when you talk with non-actuaries, you really have to switch it up a little bit and make sure that your communication is on par with those other people who might not have the same background as you, but you can definitely learn a great deal of knowledge from other people who have different backgrounds, different destinations. So if you enjoy working with people, different people with different backgrounds, I would strongly recommend capital management. And overall, I just really enjoy my role, and I encourage everyone to seek opportunities in capital management and join us in the fun.
Hope you find today's videos useful, and the biggest takeaway I'm hoping that you can take is that it doesn't really matter which FSA track you choose, or for other exam system, what specialized track you choose, because it really depends on your ability to learn, your transferable skill set, and your relevant experiences that you can also gain not just through work, but also informal opportunities through volunteering or extracurricular activities. So the job, or what we can do as an actuary, is very I would say limitless. Yeah, just go for whatever tracks or specialize tracks that interesting for you, and just keep going, learning, and I think you will get to or do what you want to do in the future. So if you like this video, don't forget to give us a thumbs up, share and subscribe if you haven't done so, and I will see you in another episode. Have a happy, productive week ahead, everyone. Bye now.